little taste of what we occasionally talk about on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Sunday. Make sure you're there. Did you know that the anti-whites, whether you want to call them commies or communists or leftists or Marxists or any of these other misnomers, the anti-whites, they want you to like the body odor of immigrants. But you'll see that in a moment. It's kind of interesting. The Daily Mail began with an article that you're seeing here, the title of, "Is this the key to curing social anxiety? Scientists say sniffing someone else's body odor can help treat the condition." Important to think about how psychological warfare is waged on the population. And anti-whiteism is psychological warfare. It is the psychological warfare we live under in the West. And you can see how media is used to drop these little bits of information into the population, like a drip stream of drugs into your system. And here they want you to think about what most people consider to be more terrifying than death, and that is, in most studies, public speaking. Social anxiety is exactly that, having to speak in public. And so therefore, they are addressing the widest number of people possible with this claim to ameliorate the fear and anxiety of having to be in public. So what's really going on here? A positive associated with body odor. Isn't that interesting? And then we find, look at this, another positive associated with body odor. Enjoy sniffing other people's body odor? You may have an unusually high sex drive, the study finds. These are all close in time that these are taking place, these articles. So most people consider having a high sex drive, or at least the belief that one has a high sex drive, as a sign of good health and virility and youth. And so once again, for some strange reason, anti-whites want you to believe that body odor will cure your social anxiety, and everybody to one degree or another suffers from it. And they also want you to believe that it's a demonstration, liking body odor, signaling that you like body odor, is a sign that you have a high sex drive, which means you're youthful, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're fit, you're virile. So where could they be going with this? What could they be trying to accomplish by getting you to like body odor? Well, take a look at this. Hate the smell of BO? You might be xenophobic, which is an anti-white slur. Ladies and gentlemen, we never use it. Bizarre study finds people who are sensitive to disgusting smells are more likely to have negative attitudes toward migrants. Oh, and then here you have a female. She's white or presents as white, and she's disgusted. It's interesting because later in the article, there she is again, later in the article, here are the people being discriminated against. Here are the persecuted masses. They just want to come in and escape their war-torn, ravaged, environment-torn, ravaged countries. They just want to come to your country. They're the victims. And then you look down here. Look, here's another white person again being the victimizer. You're just too dainty. You're just overly delicate. You don't like their body odor. That's your problem. Demonstrates that something is wrong with you. Oh, but it goes deeper than just body odor. Disgust at the smell of feces, sweat, and urine may be linked to xenophobia. Scientists claim that steering clear of disgusting smells is a natural mechanism, but when that works into overdrive, you see here, it's kind of like the toxic word that they like to throw around when they want to magnify something negatively, the anti-whites. Now it's overdrive. When you're disgusted, the smell of urine and feces and unwashed bodies, people suffering perhaps from ablutophobia, your disgust there is a demonstration of your evil. And of course, what are some of the other words that anti-whites associate with evil? Well, racist, xenophobic, bigoted. You don't like their smell? You better learn to like it, whitey. Bizarre new research claims that people with a sensitive nose for disgusting smells are more likely to be xenophobic. In a study across 9 countries, scientists have linked a repulsion to sweat, bad breath, and smelly feet with heightened disliking for refugees. You're so delicate. Steering clear of stenches is a natural mechanism that helps us avoid illness, and says the scientist at this Stockholm. Isn't it funny? It's an Institute of Stockholm. Something to think about there. But when working into overdrive, when it becomes toxic, this may trigger hostility toward refugees, who they suggest can be perceived as having dissimilar, in quotes, hygiene and food habits. Individuals more easily disgusted by body odors are also more prone to having negative attitudes toward these innocent, loving, wonderful refugees. And here they're lining up some of them to come in. You know what's interesting about the study, though? They're showing white people as the ones disgusted by smells. But the study was also conducted in non-white nations. And it appears that even non-white people don't like the smell of other people coming into their country. Nearly 7,000 participants took part in the study, which examined the opinions across the UK, New Zealand, Canada, Nigeria, Kenya, Hong Kong, Chile, Italy, and Sweden. When assessing body odor sensitivity, participants were asked to rank scents on a 1 to 5 scale of perceived disgustedness. Now, I want you all to not make the mistake that conservative content creators, conservative people are good people, the content creators are misleaders and misrulers. They're going to tell you, oh my God, they're the racist ones. They're saying non-white people have bad smells. Don't fall into that trap. That's asinine, and you'll continue to be defeated just as your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents have been defeated by the anti-whites. This is all about psychological warfare. It has nothing to do with you trying to beat them according to their metric, according to their yardstick of what is moral or immoral. You cannot beat a victimizer's yardstick. They can always rig their yardstick. You never corner them, conservatives out there. Stop listening to your conservative content creators that keep telling you that you can. Human smells like sweat, urine, feet, gas, bad breath, upper body, sweat, and feces were included in the survey. How would you like to be a participant in this survey? We got a few things we want you to smell. I mean, were these people paid big time? These were incorporated into different scenarios. Oh my God. I dare not read on. Such as, you are alone at home and notice that your feet smell strong. Were they presented with like dishes? Or were these like scratch and sniff opportunities for everyone who participated? Researchers posted a situation in which the Drashnian group from Eastern Africa or Eastern Europe, you don't quite know, had been experiencing a great deal of civil unrest in recent years. They explained, as a result of these conditions, many people from these countries are trying to leave. A large number of them, it's also quite stinky in Drashnia. And so you would understand that they would want to get out of town. A large number of these refugees are seeking to immigrate to your country with all of their smells, all of their 31 flavors. Participants then answered numerous questions about the group, taking into account hygiene, and sanitary practices. Oh, look at that cute little baby right there. Now, that's a happy little baby. Let's continue. One question asked how much they agree that Drashnians could bring health-related problems into the country, while another looked at potential criminality. All of this stuff is just the gobbledygook that they write into the middle of an article. What really matters here is the power of the psychological warfare and whether or not you're going to fall for it. And since you're listening to me, you're not going to fall for it. We'll jump down. Some of the more conventional treatments, and here they are with a link to the article right here. Will sniffing the immigrants cure you of your anxiety and signal to everyone that you really like sex, that you're in hyperdrive of life? You're doing great. Researchers have now proposed a slightly more gruesome alternative, sniffing someone else's body odor. The European experts obtained underarm sweat. Oh my God, this is really revolting. We will proceed and see if we can't find. Where is there more to this or not? Oh no, it's not showing up. They found, ladies and gentlemen, that people who dislike smells like body odor and feces and urine and halitosis and all of these others, they found that they are of an authoritarian nature and far more likely to support people like Donald Trump. Well, count me in. Trump has got my vote. But keep your eye on this sort of thing. It's a beautiful example of psychological warfare. They tell you that it will cure you. The thing X will cure you of an ailment. It will signal to the world that you are better than everyone else. And you can only find it at the breath, ass, underarm, or some other pit on the nearest immigrant near you. Roll out.